Man, I'm not gonna lie, today is really one of them days, man. I can't even front. Today is one of those days. You just wanna just be on in, you just wanna just be in your zone, you wanna just be doing you, feeling what you feel. But we gotta grow through it, we gotta push through it. I'm not even gonna say that if the shoe was on the other foot dealing with Latrice, as my wife, that I would want her to make it. No, I'm gonna keep it real. I honestly would expect her to make it. I would expect her to do what she needs to do as a woman to continue to take care of business, to continue to hang on in there, to continue to keep things going. So the same rules apply with myself as well. That I have to continue to take care of business, continue to hang in there. I just got off the phone with my auntie, and you know, like I was telling her, I was like, I'm not trying to make things sound like it's just all bad, but I'd be a lie to pretend as if it's just all good too. We're dealing with grief. You know what I mean? Tomorrow make 7 weeks ago that I last saw my wife take her last breath in the seventh hour of the day and of the damn seventh day of the month. And we can go on from there and so forth. So there's a lot of things that I have to just find balance through, man. And that's what I would encourage anyone out there that's dealing with things to do, man. Just do your best to just find balance. Of course, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Trust me. I get it. Get it. I'm saying, but I'm same thing I'm saying to someone else. I'm making sure I tell myself that even if I got to look myself in the mirror, do videos like this and replay them. However, to remind myself, it doesn't mean that that tears and anger and things like that aren't there. Of course they are. Of course I'm feeling it. Of course I'm feeling some type of way, as they will say in the world. But at the same time, too, knowing that you have to keep doing what you got to do. No, it's not easy. Yes, it hurts. But it's like if you ever watch the show, for example, Forge and Fire, definitely comes to mind. Even some of the cooking shows, like GGG, for example, and Guy's Grocery Grill, things of that nature. Look at what goes through. Look at the raw product. Look at what it once was, especially on like Forge and Fire, and yet look at the end result. But also keep in mind that it had to go through a process in between. And that's where we're at, that process in between. The raw material was, of course, life. Watching her go through these different changes in and out of hospitals, and us having differences over things that, on one hand, we probably shouldn't have had differences over. But at the same time, too, I'm starting to believe that she felt certain things, or she knew certain things deep down inside dealing with her life. And she wanted to protect everyone as much as possible, if you will. She wanted to embrace her daughter, to spend more time with her daughter, because there was nothing that she wouldn't do for her. I watched her, even in her last moments of life. I watched her lay in that bed knowing that she would have still gave her life for her daughter, even with her daughter not wanting to be there by her side. Just like I watched her push me away, push me to a certain point. But she had already felt for the longest that she was, you know, she was just, I don't want to say inconveniencing, but she felt like she was holding me back. Plus, on top of that, let's just, when it all's done and said, she knew that, Lord forbid that if anything would have happened to me, that was to be the situation, she would have definitely been alone. She knew it. She knew that she would have definitely been alone. Her mother's family showed them how they feel. Her father's family showed them how they feel. Even her own children, her own kids, her own offspring showed her how they felt. Because I mean, at the end of the day, that was your mother. That was the person that would love you unconditionally, no matter what it is out here in this world that you think you want, no matter what it is out here in this world that you hope to want or wish you want. There's nothing like that person. Even in the midst of this, me and my own mother have gotten back in touch with each other. And like I told my own mother, to keep it real, if it wasn't for certain things that were going on, that I wasn't able to just be at Latrice's bedside, 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't have came to that family reunion, which means we probably wouldn't have talked and so forth. But maybe, I'm assuming that Latrice either unconsciously or even if it was just outright intentionally done with our differences, made sure that I wasn't at that bedside because she knew that 9 times out of 10, I was going to be at that bedside every day, faithfully every day. Even if I was just getting up in the morning to go out there, spending the day out there, calling it a night, and then we do it again, faithfully. Such as anytime she was in the emergency, was there, other than when I thought her daughter was there, but that's a whole nother story. But even once I started realizing that she really wasn't being there, I made up my mind like, yo, from here on out, you go to the emergency just like it was always before. I will be there. I'd rather be there. I'd rather be there and know that you're not alone. That's the point that I'm making. And again, it's not I'm a saint. It's not trying to pretend to be the perfect husband, the perfect person. Because no saint here. Many of skeletons. Many, many, many of them. But it's just the fact that if I roll with you, I roll with you. If I say I got your back, I got your back. If I'm with you, I'm with you. And that's unconditionally. Period. Not perfect, again. Have my flaws. But who of us don't? It's funny how we can cherry pick what's right and what's wrong, forgetting that in the eyes of God, the Almighty, the Creator, a sin is a sin, regardless to what type of sin it is. Unless it's just one of the unforgivable ones, as they would say, such as self-murder. But other than that, a sin is a sin. And it's funny how we'll, want to send somebody to the cross, crucify him, uh, man, what is that word? That was during the time that the Inquisition, want to go that route with things, but forget about our secrets. Forget about the things that we do in the dark. Forget about the stuff that we say, the thoughts we have, the stuff we know, dealing with those that we say we love. But we'll want to try to persecute someone else. We'll want to try to crucify someone else. And, I'm not trying to lecture. I ain't trying to be, Captain Save them, none of that. I ain't trying to be no messiahs, none of that. It's just the point that we as people need to keep that in mind. The pain is pain. Hurt is hurt. Just like sin is sin. If anything, we need to be trying to reach out for each other to see how that person's doing, see how that person is. You know, we'll spend so much time on focusing on everything else, but what about that person? You know, I can remember in the early days of Latrice passing that so much attention was focused on why I wasn't the one that was making sure people knew what was going on fully. Or for that matter, why was, what's going on dealing with her youngest daughter. And I'm just, even in the midst of all of that, I'm just like, well, damn, what about Latrice? Doesn't she deserve attention? She's the one that's been fighting this battle for the last 5 years. More tough. The last 2 years that took its dive. She's been fighting this battle. Just like in the midst of fighting this battle, she's the one that's been doing what she can do to keep everyone together. Can none of them say that they were put out? Can none of them say that? Because I wouldn't let that happen. Because I knew we needed to do what we needed to do as a family. They left on their own. Ebony, she left. I didn't even know she was gone, leaving, until I learned after. Richard, he left. He's supposed to have been going over to just spend the night over his sister's house, who he claimed for the longest he didn't have no contact with, but that's another story. And he didn't come back. And Arbrielle, I'm thinking she there. I'm just thinking she's in her room with the cats in her zone. We already got tension going on until I'm up the next morning wondering why I'm not hearing her. And I knock on the door to open the door to see that she was gone. To think of the first person to call that she would be. And that's when I learned that she got picked up the day before. No different than the neighbors thinking I put the girl out. And I'm like, at the end of the day, that was my wife's daughter. I would have made sure, yeah, she's ready to turn 17, and this has went on and that has went on dealing with her. But at the same time, I wouldn't have just put her out there like that. So people left on their own. Just as sure as she decided those 3 days, not to mention the countless moments of walking past her mother, coming and going like she didn't exist. Or if you were there, you'd rather be on your device off to the side. And we don't want to get started on the fact of how many moments it was watching that machine beep because her mother's vitals are reacting to the fact that she's telling her to do this or do that, and she's not wanting to do what her mother tells her to do. And you watching Latrice's heart rate go up. You watching her blood pressure drop. You watching all these different things take place when Arbrielle had to do was just do what her mother simply asked her to do and been done with it. She rather watch videos on people that don't have nothing to do with her life, that are not benefiting nothing of her life. Have the video up. Her mother asked her to turn the video down. Turn the phone down. I even did my damnedest to try to prevent the situations by just telling Arbrielle, look, let's get 2 or 3 pair of earbuds. That way you always got a pair of earbuds to keep on you, so you can just be in your zone doing you. 1 earbud at a time, for real. Because truth be told, you should have really been spending time with your mother. She wanted hugs. She wanted her hand held. She wanted to know that she was loved, that she was appreciated, especially from those who came out of her. Again, I'm not trying to act like the perfect person. I'm not trying to act like I'm doing it. I've just did this or just that. No, but I rode with her until the end. It's something that I expected all of us to have done. All of us should have rode with her to the end. Despite our differences that we may have had, despite what we may have felt, You know, because you got ones who are jealous because Arbrielle is getting everything. Then you got the one that's following the one that's jealous because Arbrielle is getting everything. And, you know, people want to throw labels and titles and accusations and stuff like that around. But damn, where the hell was where the hell was that energy at when that woman was right there needing someone to just hold her hand? You know, when that woman just wanted someone to check up on her. We try to say all this stuff about me, the stole whatever at me. But hell, I was the one unconditionally it was there. Period. At the end of the day, the one who sacrificed a lot, who emotionally and mentally is going through a lot to this moment to make sure that she was as comfortable as possible. Period. You know, we want to have, again, we want to have opinions. We want to judge. We want to try to make all these accusations. But yet, where were you though? Where were you? Two days ago, on a Tuesday, 7 weeks ago, that woman that woman said her last words. It shouldn't have just been me in the physical, my mother on the video. Yes, the Dolly, Butter, Arabella, as well as Sparabella. You know, it shouldn't have been that. She shouldn't have had to just hold Butter. She shouldn't have just had to hold Arabella and Sparabella to feel loved outside of my hugs. She shouldn't have had to felt that. She should have been able to feel the hugs of those that say they love her. She should have been able to feel that. She should have been able to hear those voices. Period. Now, again, I ain't trying to lecture. It's just one of those moments of just doing your best to balance. Because remember, only God can judge us all, for real. Even though we all try to play God in some form or another. But again, that woman should have never died alone. Yeah, I was there. Yes, Dolly or Butter or Bella Sparabella, we were there. But as far as a flesh and blood, she should have been surrounded around the table with flesh. I mean, around that bed with flesh and blood. Period. She should have been surrounded with it. Despite differences, despite personal opinions, whatever, she should have been surrounded around that bed. If you say you love her, you say you care, or if you at least say you care about her well-being, or the well-being of one of her kids for that matter, you should have been around that bed. It should have been a thing that who's next? Because we're all going for it. That should have been around that bed. And we never know what impact that might have had, what impact that might have made, how she would have reacted, responded. She was going through more than enough pain with just what was going on with her body, period. From her lower backside to all the unnecessary that took place with her stump and her front side. Yeah, I feel like she left me. I ain't gonna front. Yeah. But at the same damn time, though, for real, I can't blame her because of how much she was dealing with. Man, if you got people, you say you love someone, really show that person you love them. Really show them your appreciation of them. Because 30 seconds, man, it just takes just 30 seconds And that could be the difference. Real talk.